Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's Waffle Box time.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
My crotch is itchy.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
2 chicks at the same time, man.
Just thank the Lord she didn't live to see her son as a mermaid.
You killed a hooker!
Call girl!
No,
she was
Cyril, when they're dead, they're just hookers.
This time we are sure she's a woman, right?
Why do you want to listen to the TV with the stereo on?
Because I like to party.
Let's do this!
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Episode 12 coming up. We've got Steven Seagal getting involved with some cryptocurrency and his silly Italian and his tight squeeze with his car. We also have Suicide Squad recently come out on HBO Max and in theaters, and obviously a futuristic song breakdown coming on up on this show. My name is Mike Fish, and I am joined as always by the Honorable Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, my friend?
What's good, y'all? What's good, Mike? How you doing, my man?
I am well. It's been so long since we've hung out. You're a year older now.
I've had another trip around the sun. It's true, my friend. Lots of changes have happened since you last saw me. For instance, now I drink wine.
Wow.
And that is what we will be getting into tonight.
What wine you got? What is it? Is it red? It looks like
we got we actually have a claret, if I'm even saying that correctly, because I just started drinking wine this year, from Coppola Vineyard.
Where's Coppola Vineyard? Is that California wine?
Yeah, somewhere in Marin here. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon. It is a 2018 black label.
Good year.
I don't think it's anything terribly fancy, but it's very nice. My neighbors, who are much better neighbors to us than we are to them, brought this by for my birthday. And now it's time to open it.
Very nice, very nice. So, I know, how was your birthday? Because I know you did the
22nd anniversary of Kush Hayes' 21st birthday. And it was good, man.
Who's the fellas you was with again? The something gamers?
Hanging out with the barely functional gamers, and the Overlook Theater, the Overlook Hour podcast. Those guys actually do have 2 names. And yeah, man, what I thought was going to be about 2 hours ended up going over 5 hours long. We shut down after 1 a.m. California time, and that was just it, man. I was done. Old man needed to stop rocking, but it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. I sincerely thank them for their hospitality and just opening up, their space to me like that. And who knows, maybe we'll do it again next year.
So what was you doing? Was you just hanging out, chatting on the stream, or was you playing games, or
we just played Rock Band all night.
Nice.
Rock Band 3 to be specific, over an Xbox 360. So
what was your?
I wish it was a PlayStation 4, but we can't be picky.
Cannot be choosers, as they say.
It cannot. The fact that we had anything that produced what we did Friday night, dude, it was amazing. And yeah, again, I sincerely thank both those guys, and hope to be back on their show just as a guest in general.
What was your the one song that you rocked out to?
There's a couple beers in, but I ended up doing the Running Man while I was playing the bass during some 80s song. I honestly forget, but it was just one of those silly things because it was just time to be silly. So you guys have to check it out. It is on twitch.tv/barelyfunctionalgamers under their archive. I have no idea if copyright strikes because it's music will be a thing, but it's currently there.
Twitch is a funny one. They might do that thing where they remove all the audio, so it's just complete silence while you're doing the Running Man, which might even be more entertaining.
That is somewhere after the 3-hour mark. I do know that much.
So we're gonna wait. Let's get some more plugs in before we dive into the main show. So some of you may know that just for shits and giggles, we have a Twitch channel. So Monday night, I launched our live show, which is not going to be like a regular thing. It's just going to be whatever I want to do it. Waffle Box Late Night Syrup live on Twitch. On Monday night,
great name, FYI.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. I was joined by JPJ and Pluggo from Between Two Beards podcast. We talked wrestling for a good hour and a half, and then on Thursday night, I'm joined by Rick Barrasso from the Greatest Movie of All Time podcast to talk about obviously his podcast and all things movies. If you do want to join us, that's live 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/waffleboxpod. Kush, my man, what have you got going on this week? Have you got a car? Have you got a Sweet Science thingy? Kick-ass movie? All those good things. What do you got?
August has never been busier, man. Even with the 22nd anniversary of Kush Hayes' 21st birthday behind us, we still have a full slate of stuff to do. So no Kush and Kai this month. That's just how busy it is, man. But this Saturday, August 14th, the Iron Dragon TV Action Fest is live. I'm not 100% sure what my part will be in it that night, if I'm even a part of it that night, or if I've done my duty already. But you can check out more information, id.tv, actionfest.com, and that's where this year's slate of killer kung fu movies and just outrageous stunt films will be featured. And then August 25th, Kick-Ass Movie Podcast number 4. We're bringing in the co-host of Sweet Science Cinema, Jameel Hemphill. Me and director Len Kabazinski, we're going to be talking about Undisputed 2. It's part of one of those little cross-promotion dealies I try to do. And I invite you all to join us. Microdoses every Friday, of course, as well.
As and those watching the video version of this show, we've just seen my dog join me in the studio.
Hola, doggy.
We had a thunderstorm here, so she spent the last 2 hours hiding under my bed.
Kind of jealous of all the thunderstorms New Jersey's gotten, especially in the summer.
It was a big one. Like it was like right over our head. So it's like as soon as the lightning hit, the thunder hit, and it you could feel the shake. It's like, whoa, it's a good one.
Oh, very cool, man.
Okay, let's get into the waffle week. This week's waffle. It's a very cryptocurrency heavy show this week because AMC was it this week they announced this?
It was just yesterday or Monday in the case of this episode. Yeah.
So AMC Entertainment said that it will start accepting Bitcoin as payment for movie tickets and concessions if purchased online at all its US theaters. So from what I understand, so you have to prepay for your tickets and you have to prepay, I guess, for your hot dogs and your popcorn on their website.
No, you don't have to, but you can. They have an app. I'm a member of it as well. It's a pretty great app. You can even just when you're ordering your tickets at home, you can say like, you know what, I just want popcorn waiting for us. I don't want to stand in line with the common folk. The AMC app, where is that? Beautiful little, there you go.
There you go.
Check that out. Not a plug, but it's still a thing. And you can just order food through it. I've actually had food brought to me at my seat at the Metreon. They cut that off though. Like if you're halfway in the movie, don't try. But they give you like 2 delivery times. Like one time will actually be during the movie trailers, and then another time will be like 10 minutes into the actual feature. And if you didn't get either of those windows, you got to go get your own food, Fred. But
fair enough.
Yeah, man. This is the future, dude. I don't know much about banking. I don't really know much about currency. Just through the AMC app, they currently only take Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express. So the fact that they're taking Bitcoin at the end of the year, I want to say it's exciting, but I don't necessarily have the pedigree to make that claim. I don't know what it's like over there in New Jersey, but here in San Francisco, man, it's not uncommon nowadays to like just walk into your ordinary liquor store and see like We accept Apple Pay, PayPal. I don't think anyone's started taking Bitcoin yet, but like it's more than just cash and Visa, MasterCard, okay? And the little thing that you got to punch your PIN number into. Things are a lot more complicated now. Now you can just tap your credit card against the thing without having to swipe it, without having to insert it sexually. It's currency is going a lot further these days.
Yeah, we have. I mean, that was a thing in the UK. Not to be that guy. Oh, we had this, but in the UK,
Please be that guy.
Years ago, we had the contactless payment. I remember used to getting the bus and the train to work. I'll just, rather than having to get a ticket, I'll just walk in the bus, boop, tap my card, and I'm on with the bus. So yeah, it's very. But yeah, now pretty much most places like the main brands like CVS, Target, and all that stuff around here, you can just open up your iPhone and slap your phone on the thing, and it pays for everything. But yeah, the only thing about the Bitcoin, I still don't know what it is. Like when it's they're gonna mine.
I know a little bit about a little bit.
Well, so if they're mining for Bitcoin, where are they mining it? Who put it there in the beginning so they could mine it? I don't get it.
So now I don't understand any of the mining stuff. We have to bring someone else on for that entirely. I would love to hear the explanation to it. But the origin of Bitcoin it was just an in-game currency, I think, for like Warcraft or EverQuest or one of those multimedia online role-playing games that the kids are so fond of these days. And it just started off as a little nothing, like drop $10 in and get, I don't know, 1 million credits, and I can buy this shield, I can buy this new skin, I can buy an extra spell, something along the lines of that. And something happened where it just became more than it should have been, man. Like all of a sudden, like people were just trading it in general, and it started accumulating value. And this is the part where I get fuzzy, but I'm just parroting details at this point here. So just a lot of weird off transactions that should have never taken place in the first place just made Bitcoin become a thing. Bitcoin is not the first digital currency out there, but it is, for whatever reason, the one that took off the quickest and set a trend for others to follow.
As I said, in the article that we was reading about this story, so it says as of right now, Bitcoin is slightly below $30,000 American. One Bitcoin. Let's just
one fucking Bitcoin
below. So let's just say one Bitcoin equals $25,000 US. Let's just say that. So how do the denominations work? Because if you're buying just a movie ticket, so how's it's like 0.002 of a Bitcoin? How does that work?
I mean, it probably works just like that. If we're getting into like cents and stuff like that, the loose change of the Bitcoin, we need a proper name for it, because that's where things are going to get fuzzy, and people's math needs to be at A+. They need to know like the difference between tens, hundreds, and thousands of a Bitcoin. Yeah.
Maybe it's passed me by. Maybe I'm just gonna be one of those angry old grandpas and like, you and your Bitcoins, I've still got my cash in my mattress stash. I don't trust.
At least you're not the dude on Facebook going like, I had the opportunity 15 years ago to buy Bitcoin for $20 and it'd be worth over $1 million, blah, 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 right now. And it's just like, well, you didn't. Sorry.
There's so many like people talking to me about Dogecoins and shit. I don't know what you're talking about. What's the difference between a Bitcoin and a Dogecoin?
It's just a different format. It's much like MP4 and MP3. I mean, one is a video and one is an audio, so it probably wasn't a good. No, it's a world that we don't understand. You and I clearly do not understand finance or currency. I wish we could have someone that was an expert that could explain it to us. But even after that, we'd probably just be like, all right. So
The good thing is, though, we are not alone in not knowing much about cryptocurrency, because also in the news, there was nearly 500 investors that were recently scammed out of more than 11 million US dollars, real dollars, not fake dollars that you mine in your computer, actual dollars, through basically a crypto scam. And then it has an amazing plot twist, but do you want to kind of bring us up to speed on what exactly happened? Why did they get scammed?
You mentioned Dogecoin a second ago, and prior to that, we were talking about Bitcoin. Doge, I don't care. Yeah.
Doge bags.
Yeah. When you got Bitcoin, out must come Bitcoin 2, second generation. Just like Transformers Generation 1, they had Transformers Generation 2. So some other random dude named John DeMar, unrelated to the original Bitcoin, at least I think, he decided, well, I'll just make Bitcoin Part 2. And in 2017, he did that. He managed to make B2G with a $7.2 million investment over multiple people. I don't even know if they had reached 500 yet at that point. And then he decided to bring in Zen Master Steven Seagal as, a spokesman. And that guy would end up getting like a $250,000 in cash, and then $750 million or $750,000 in a B2G, which would in theory make would just gain wealth and accumulate and grow and blah blah blah, be worth more.
But turns out it was all bullshit.
It was all bullshit. The SEC immediately the cops got involved. The feds were like, what's going on over here? You seem to have raised quite a lot of cash. And Steven Seagal, who decided to give you money?
Yeah, if Steven Seagal's behind this, there must be something going on. What the hell?
Yeah. Just based on the article that our little homie from Canada, the Vampire Dark, sent us, Steven Seagal was eventually fined over $300,000 in fines for defrauding the SEC.
So he lost out.
I mean, I guess technically he
got.
Yeah, I guess technically he had to pay 50,000 more.
And yeah. I'm assuming he didn't get the 750,000 in fake currency.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't see that in the article where they just said it doesn't exist anymore. As far as we know, people are trading it right now. It's a thing, much like NFT, whatever that still is.
Oh yeah, don't even start on that.
Yeah,
but no, instead of going, what's the exact wording? But basically, it was going rather than the money going towards the cryptocurrency, it was just being funneled into an offshore account, and they were just
that's how it usually goes.
Here's
the thing, though: once you if you get arrested, and even if you're found guilty, in most cases you don't have to pay that money back. Like, it's in an offshore account. It's unreachable to the United States. I don't understand why, but yeah, that's a thing. This guy is due to I think he's out on bail right now, but January 2nd he's facing up to 5 years. January 2nd 2022, that is when he'll receive his final sentencing. But once that time is up, and good behavior and parole and all that stuff, like, he's done his time.
So
the money is wherever it is.
You'll be able to spend all that money you saved in the offshore account.
Yeah. So yeah, $11 million was scammed out of people. Steven Seagal got something. He might have even gotten more. I don't know. But yeah, it's just strange times, dude. I wouldn't know who to trust in that situation. And I mean, it definitely wouldn't be Steven Seagal. And let that be a lesson to y'all. If Steven Seagal's involved, get out.
I admit I have no idea what's going on with this Bitcoin thing. But if Steven Seagal said, "Hey, you should invest your money in this," I'm going to be like, I I think I'm good.
Oh no, Davey.
Good, Stevie. Zen master.
Have you ever tried to be brought in on a pyramid scheme before?
Yep.
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? Especially when you like your brain immediately triggers. This is a pyramid scam, and they actually like show you like charts and graphs, and they go, "No, motherfucker, you can make all the little circles and bubbles you want, but that is in the shape of a pyramid." I'm sorry. Like,
what I love is when they try to explain it to you, and you're just saying, "Oh, this seems like a pyramid scheme," and they're like, "No, it's not a pyramid scheme," and then they spend 10 minutes explaining it, but what they're actually explaining makes it sound even more like a pyramid scheme. It's like,
not a pyramid scheme.
No.
Yeah.
So what if all you need to do is get 10 people involved? Fuck off.
I had 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I had someone trying to get me in on video phones. And I was like, bitch, I just Skyped to India last night for free. I mean, why would anyone get involved with your video phone? And then this woman actually went like, well, we thought maybe you'd want to help your friend. It's like, here's me helping my friend. You're involved in a pyramid scam, buddy. You need to get out of this. This is not good. This isn't going to help anything. And he wouldn't listen to reason.
You should have zoomed him. But look,
I don't think Zoom was a thing yet, or at least I wasn't aware of it. But I was on Skype at that time.
Oh, wait, how long ago did you say it was?
13 years ago.
Oh, yeah, Zoom was definitely not a thing. But you would have had Skype, or even back in the day, you could.
This would be
video call each
2008,
other.
maybe 2009.
But even earliest memories, you could video call each other on like MSN Messenger and stuff like that.
Yeah,
paying for that.
It was weird. They were literally trying to sell me a phone. It's a landline, touch tone pad.
Oh, and it has a screen on it.
A webcam. It's got a screen and it's got the camera. And I was just like, come on, man. What are you doing?
The moral of the story
pyramid scams, beware.
And timeshares. They're fun.
Timeshares.
Oh, I didn't end up spending any money, but I got tricked. I was doing this excursion thing, and they were like, it's $200, but if you agree to go on this tour, it'll only be $80. I was like, tell me more about this tour. And basically what they said was, well, we have a sister hotel that was obviously impacted more through COVID. So what we're just going to try to do is send as many people over there to tour of it. And that way, hey, when you go back to wherever you live, you're going to tell people about this amazing hotel and it's basically going to drum up more business, basically. I was like, all right, sure, I'll take a tour of it. And then very quickly, I realized, this is a timeshare presentation. Fuck. And I was being told, why are you being so rude? Because this is bullshit. I'm not going to say. And then they did the whole, it was so hilarious. Like they did the whole pantomime thing at the end where, for this package, it would be just $5,000 and you'll get X, Y, and Z. And I was like, nope, don't want it. Thank you. They go, well, 1 second. Let me maybe speak to my manager. And then some twat in a suit comes out with his calculator. He's like, well, actually, since it's you and I like you, I'm gonna do it for $2,000. And then the woman who originally quoted me $5,000 does the whole, what? Oh my, that's an amazing deal. How's bitch? Fuck off. I was like, no. See you later. Bye.
That's amazing.
Ruined their day. I don't give a fuck. I work in sales.
I'm sure they've heard way worse.
Shit. The acting though was fantastic, top notch, Oscar-worthy acting. I'll give her that.
All right.
Oh my God, that's an amazing deal. It's so next. What have we got? Let's move on to other types of scams. Sports cars. For
What?
those,
Are we going Fast and Furious?
the cars for those who have small dick energy. There, I said it. So Ferrari, very famous brand. I'm sure you've heard of it. They're red and they're fast. That's it. But this, I don't think this is really
very
the whole
expensive.
point. Very expensive. Like this, okay.
Very expensive.
So do you ever watch Formula One?
No, afraid not.
Okay, so but are you familiar? Like, do you know that Formula One is a thing?
Yes, I know it's a thing. I know it's a car, but I don't know what kind of car it is.
So it's basically it's a racing car
For sure.
circuit. Like it's a division. It's like not NASCAR, but it's different types. Anyway, it's very
it's a whole other
expensive.
league.
It's a very expensive sport to be involved in.
Okay.
Like hundreds of millions of dollars a year people spend to put these cars out every year, blah, blah, blah. And so this is how ridiculous Ferraris are, because Ferrari enter themselves into the Formula One season.
Made a whole movie about it.
But
Ford versus Ferrari.
They just write it. That's their marketing. That's their advertising money. Right. So that's how many Ferraris are sold and how expensive they are. They enter themselves into hundreds of millions of dollars on Formula One just as their marketing campaign, just to get the name out there. That's ridiculous. But that's not the point. The point is that there was a city. So are you a driver, or are you a commuter, or you're a pedestrian? What do you normally? Because I don't know what it's like over here in California. Is public
when we're not neck deep in a pandemic, I am a bus rider. I take mass transit, streetcars, buses. Sometimes there's a ferry involved. You never know what could be a part of it, but it's all publicly shared. So,
do you drive? Have you got a driver's license? Do you drive cars ever?
I have a driver's license. I do drive a car. I drove a car today, but I try not to as much as possible. But yeah,
because it's bad for the environment, man.
It's hard to park out here.
I guess it's not even to the point of do you have a car? What's your spatial awareness like? Basically, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. It because some idiots. No, right. So this guy so long story short, this guy fucking got his Ferrari jammed in an alleyway in, I believe, was it Rome?
Yeah, in Italy. Yeah, his Ferrari Roma got stuck in an alley in Italy, which means one of two things to me. Either he's not from there whatsoever. The car is definitely brand new, so he probably doesn't have that spatial awareness yet. But if he's not a local, then Italy's alleys, no two alleys are the same size.
Apparently, some of them get narrower the further you go down.
Like some of them get narrower, and I don't know why you would even think about trying to drive through one, even with that being a risk. Like I tried to find more about this story, and for all we know, that thing is still stuck in the alley right now. It's been 4 days since it was first reported, since the first video was taken. But I mean, I'm sure it got towed, but as far as we know, it's still there. No other details are mentioned, just that the guy got stuck, and that this is regardless of what kind of car, this is actually a thing that happens like almost every day in that city.
But what blew my mind is it's just two things have happened. So one, I don't care how much money I have. Maybe it's just my mentality. But no matter how much money I have, if I spend that much money on a car, even if I think those walls are going to get within 2 feet of my car, I'm going carefully, because it's a brand new fucking Ferrari. I don't want any scratches on it. I don't want any dust on it. I'm being so careful. But even if he's like, okay, no, I think I can make this. The minute his Ferrari went, why didn't he stop? Like, how fast was this twat going for his whole
I think he wasn't going that fast, because there would have been more structural damage. Like it.
So what did you think? I'm in
an
there.
absolute
I can push
abrupt
through.
stop.
I'm pushing through.
Yeah. I think at one point he just went like, "We're already here. Let's just." It can't be that tight, right? Like it'll just be a little scratch. It'll just be a little scratch, and then eventually, yeah. I don't know how I don't know how much he decided to scratch his car up before he just went like, well, I hope backwards is still an option, and then
or reverse
really wasn't.
Us drivers,
reverse would have been nice. Oh yeah, right. You drivers. I mean, you also have to wonder, like, were there other people behind him when this was going on? Like,
I hope so. I would be enjoying the shit out of that. You know, but you just go through there. Like, what's his name? Michael Caine. Just go through that in a Mini. Have you not seen the Italian Job? What are you doing it in a big car for? Or a Vespa? You're Italian. Where's your Vespa?
Yeah.
Don't they all drive those? Is that stereotypical? Is that racist? I don't know.
It's just Italian people.
Mamma mia.
If we're talking about Mario Cuomo, he's just Italian. So that's just how that goes.
Oh, Cuomo. I got a thing about say about Cuomo. That
yeah, you want to say it?
Oh, I'm gonna say, like, I chef kissed. Wait, because okay, again, this all goes back to the whole political discussion we had a couple of weeks ago, where it's like, hey, it doesn't matter whether they're wearing a blue tie or a red tie, they're probably a douchebag because they're a fucking politician. But he, like, I thought, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought he was doing a relatively good job with the whole COVID situation. Yes, it again wasn't perfect. You can talk about the nursing home fuck up and all that shit. I'm not saying he did a perfect job, but from the shithole we was in this area to where we are right now, fine. Hats off to him. But hey, turns out he was a piece of shit behind closed doors. But I just, at some point, you just have to almost appreciate the balls on a guy when he's for the last, I don't know how long he's been going on now, but it feels like months. This thing's going on, but he just basically he pulled the old, oh hey, you sexually harassed and sexually assaulted your staff members. No, I didn't do that. And then a couple of weeks later, we investigated it and found proof that you did. And then he immediately turns around and goes, yep, but I've learned my lesson and I'm a better person. You was fucking denying it a couple of weeks ago. Fuck off. And he did the whole speech of like, I looked into my daughter's eyes and I saw myself through them. And oh, fuck you. Just at that point, I would almost, I don't want to say appreciate, that's the wrong word because I wouldn't, but I would, if the people would just be like, yeah, you caught me. I did it. I'll be off then. Bye. Like, at least you get, at least he was fucking honest. Like, almost, there's one. I
don't even know if the world's ready for that.
There was, I mean, there was, I can't remember. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I remember it was like a Donald Trump thing. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm no fan of his, but this one quote, I had to almost appreciate, where someone was like, oh, you called Rosie O'Donnell, I don't know, like an ugly.
Yeah, he's like, you called Rosie O'Donnell a bitch. He's like, no, I didn't. I called her a cunt.
Oh no, it was something. Yeah, well, maybe it was something along the lines of like, you called her this. And he goes, no, I didn't. And they go, yeah, you did. We have it recorded. And he goes, yeah, no, that's probably something I did say. Yeah, but at least he was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. But yeah, Andrew Cuomo, piece of shit. Just own up. Don't play this whole.
Right. I said Mario.
Oh,
my bad, Mario.
Was that his dad or something? Or his uncle?
That was his dad. No, his dad.
But yeah,
and then his brother is Chris on CNN.
Yes. Oh, fucking people are like, should he resign? Why? What did he do? He didn't do anything wrong. But it's not just him. It's so many people have done that, pulled that shit, where they deny. And when they finally get caught red-handed, it's like, whoa, I'm a different person now.
I like that one of his lines was, "Hey, girl."
I'm the governor of New York, baby.
You didn't even say that much. You just went, "Hey, you."
See my Empire
It's only
State Building.
stupid if it doesn't work. It's only stupid if it doesn't work.
You want to ride my Staten Island ferry? Baby? I can get legislation for it. Let me.
Oh boy. Would you like a street named after you?
My penis is so good they ate it twice. I don't know. That's my one. That's my go-to accent.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's got. But I do what again? Another bit of appreciation where he was like, "I'm resigning as the governor of New York in 14 days." So he's put his 2-week notice in. Why?
Did he?
Why? What,
did he actually?
Like,
did he really resign?
He resigned today or Tuesday, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, he put in his 14-day notice. And the only reason I can think of that he's put a 14-day notice is so he can ask New York for a reference when he applies for his next job. Let's go.
Isn't he like Giuliani and also a lawyer?
Probably. Well, Giuliani's not a lawyer anymore. Technically, he had his New York license revoked.
Oh, far out.
Because he was
so much I don't know. So much I don't know
of his involvement in the January 6th thing.
You heard it here first on the Waffle Box, kids. Andrew Cuomo has resigned, governor of New York.
No more. And so his deputy took over. I can't remember her name, but it's the New York's first ever female governor. Now her name's Kathy. I can't remember her surname off the top of my head, but yeah. But she's got.
Does she love cheesecake?
She has got an easy job because I think the last 2 or 3 New York governors have all been either removed or had to quit because of scandals.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's got. She could just literally sit on her hands and fart New York by what's his face?
That I should probably drive tourism if she could sit on her hands and fart New York.
What is his name? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Frank Sinatra. Jesus Christ, Frank Sinatra. But yeah, she could literally sit on her hands and fart New York by Frank Sinatra and technically be the best governor of New York for 12 years. Like,
it would boost morale for sure.
Oh, if she did it at a live press conference, that'd be fantastic. She just fart. New York's back, baby.
Stop. You're spitting in people's ears.
Spraying my cheeks.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm clipping that. That's going in the highlight reel. Next.
All right.
Talking about music.
Next.
It's time for this week's song breakdown. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Let me open my next beer. So this week we have a British song by a song you may never have heard, but it's glorious. So this week's song breakdown is The Year 3000 by the band Busted. Okay, so for reference, this song came out in 2002, a full 998 years before the title of the song, just for clarification.
Gotcha. Yes, that math checks out.
Math
Checks out.
So, and talking of that, there is maths involved in this. So Busted was like they got called pop punk, but they were basically, I mean, they're not now, they're doing their own thing, but at the time it was kind of like one of those like manufactured boy bands or some shit, I think.
Okay. And what year are they specifically? Like 88?
No. This was their, I don't know if this was their first, this came from their first album at least, which was released in 2002.
Oh, okay.
So 19 years ago. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So let's start reading these lyrics and kind of breaking these down.
Mm-hmm.
So the year 3000, I busted. So one day when I came home at lunchtime, I heard a funny noise. Went out to the backyard to find out it was one of those rowdy boys.
You gotta watch out for those rowdy boys.
Stood there was my neighbor called Peter and a flux capacitor. Back to the Future reference. He told me he built a time machine like the one in a film I've seen. Back to the Future, Dick. A film. Yeah. So, okay, this is where it gets fucking wild, my friend. So this is it's good. He's going to break it down now into the chorus. He said, "I've been to the year 3000.
Mm-hmm.
Not much has changed, but they lived underwater." What?
Oh, that'd be quite a significant change, actually,
That's
Buster.
quite a significant change, Peter. So that's almost like, so if you met up with like an old friend that you haven't seen in say like 10 years, and you're, oh my God, hey, how you been?
You look just the same, but you're missing an arm.
Wow. No, I was gonna say that'd be like, hey, what's been same old, still married to Fiona, still working the same job. I'm wanted for murder in 10 states. My kid's getting old. Wait, what? That's different. What happened? Excuse me? So they live underwater.
Yeah, no biggie. No big.
So, and then he says the next one. So I've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but they live underwater. And your great granddaughter is pretty fine.
Oh, I beg your pardon?
I beg your pardon indeed, Peter. So, a few things in that little bit. Let's break that bit down. So, your great granddaughter, that is, to my calculations, 6 generations.
You talking shit, Peter? I'm coming for you, sucker.
What?
All right.
Why are you fucking looking at my great granddaughter, Pete?
Fucking pervert.
Fucking pervert. But so great granddaughter.
She's not even born yet, dude. She's not even born by like 990 years. What is your motherfucking problem, bro? That's a sickness.
So does that make him like a time traveling pedophile?
A pre-pedophile. A pre-pedophile. A pedophile.
Predophile. Oh fuck. I'm gonna write that one down. Hashtag predophile. But that's 6 generations. So this guy has traveled 1,000 years into the future, and he is witnessing 6 generations. I did the maths on this. On average, then, each one of those generations average 166 years.
Oh.
Let's just bare minimum. Let's just say each one of those generations gave birth at the age of 14. Pretty low
14.
age, but let's just go with that. 14, just to make it easier. So that's saying that each one of this fella's descendants would have had to have lived, on average, 180 years for there only to be 6 generations by the year 3000. Meaning, Peter, the pedophile, he's now basically saying, hey, I've gone to the year 3000. There's not much difference other than the fact everyone fucking lives underwater. Oh, and by the way, your 180-year-old great-great-granddaughter is fucking sexy. So much weirdness.
So much to unpack here.
To break down. Like, I have never seen an 80-year-old where I thought, hello.
Yeah.
180?
I did the math real quick.
60?
So the average generation is only 20 years. And if we're talking 990 years in the future, there should be at least 49 generations here. There's something's very suspicious here.
I mean, I appreciate they're writing a song, so it might not have flown if he was like, here, I've been to the year 3000, not much changed, but you lived underwater, and your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great don't, it might not flowed as better, but still.
What do you have to say great 49 times?
Why does it have to be year 3000? Stupid. So yeah, so not much has changed. We live underwater, and the average age life expectancy is 180 now, apparently. Not much has changed. Then it goes further on. So where it's all bullshit again. It took me to the future in the Flux thing. I saw everything. Boy bands and another one, blah, 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 blah. Triple-breasted women. Shout out to Total Recall. I'll appreciate that one. That's a good one. Swim around town totally naked. They swim around town totally naked because they're fish, I guess.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're underwater.
Yeah. Triple-breasted women, though. Shout out.
All your clothes are wet already.
Then the next, I took a trip to the year 3000. This song had gone multi-platinum. Everyone bought our 7th album.
Oh, well, that was nice.
Very specific. So again, to my calculations, either they've released one album every 142 years. In that case, they need to fucking speed up.
You don't rush art, Mike.
No.
You don't rush art.
Or to specifically, everyone just latched onto this really old 7th album. But they did specifically say outsold Michael Jackson in the song.
Oh.
It's good to know.
Well, with the population being as big as it is in the year 3000, that's not really hard to do after a while. And eventually just...
maybe by the year 3000.
You just make a song that everybody likes or even loves, and then the world buys it or pirates it or whatever they're doing 1,000 years from now.
And by everyone's probably watched Forgetting Neverland or Leaving Neverland. There you go.
Or when you say Michael Jackson in the year 3000, it's referring to a completely different individual altogether.
Yeah, it could have been like
remember when Senator Michael Jackson stopped all those terrorists from murdering that orphanage? Motherfucking hero, dude. We need a Michael Jackson day.
Yeah, I just hit my dog with that piece of paper. I'm sorry, Aria. She's looking at me like, what the fuck? You want to go, son? You want to go, bro? No, she's good. But yeah, so it could have been just maybe some country singer called Michael Jackson at that point. And no one gave a shit. So they could have sold a couple of copies. But apparently they went multi-platinum. But there you go. That is the year 3000 by Busted. Bullshit, but it does have a pre-defile in it. We've discovered a new term. Copyright with a box. I don't know if that's a really good thing for us to copyright. The one thing that came out of Waffle Box,
but it's going on a shirt,
is they have coined the phrase predefault. What is that? It's a guy who goes into the future to fuck kids that haven't been born technically yet. There you go. Pete. Fucking Peter, you predefault. Disgust me. But yeah, you're going on the shirt, Pete. You're going on the shirt. Right.
Now, do we know how many albums this band has gone on to do? Did they get to their 7th album, or they're still working on the first one?
I think they've released 4 albums at this point.
Oh
in
shit.
20 years. So maybe they are going to be. Yeah, maybe they are going to be on track for 7 albums by the year 3000. I'm trying to Google it, but for some reason I just keep typing in the Busted. I don't know why I'm doing that. But there you go, Busted Band. Let's try to see how many. Okay, let's see how many albums the first one sold. Hold on, this is fantastic content, especially if you're watching this and you're just looking at me, looking at my phone.
Mike's Googling some facts. Gonna
Google,
click some links to a URL and show up. Hey, Mike's looking up some facts. Why don't you click on the spam blocker?
On the Wikipedia page, it never mentions anything about sales, so I guess it didn't sell that well. Otherwise, they would have mentioned.
What are you gonna do?
There we go. Speaking of movies, because he mentions a movie in the song, it's time for this week's movie review. It's time for Kush's movie review. This week.
Woo woo woo.
What do we got?
Warner Brothers, HBO Max, and DC's The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Is loosely related to the 2016 film Suicide Squad by David Ayer. This time they have hired James Gunn. And I gotta say up front, so I've not seen 2016 Suicide Squad. It looked like an ugly movie. I don't care how cute you tried to make the trailer with your Queen and your Bohemian Rhapsody. I didn't fall for it. I never saw it, even with it being available for free on HBO. I've not seen it. After seeing this new movie, which we'll get into, I still have no desire to see it. Suck it, Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad, however, being a James Gunn film, like that dude only makes quality. Like he made a very good film here. I don't want to call it great, but he made a very good film. I'll even say fantastic.
I was gonna. So it was almost like the beautiful connection. Because I saw the first Suicide Squad movie and I thought it was good. It wasn't like when I say good, I mean it was like that's good. You know, like.
Oh, by the way, excuse me, Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. We have to you have to address it as that.
What did he win?
So
what did he win an Oscar for?
Best makeup for the crocodile guy.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it got the award before any Marvel movies did. Just so that's the 1-0
DC.
Yeah.
But no,
I think Avengers Endgame got something eventually. But
I think
like I'm interrupting.
No, not at all. But I think when it comes to DC movies, I have at this point given up. Like they're just always releasing garbage. So on that scale, the original Suicide Squad wasn't bad. Like it was like the first Wonder Woman, which was like this isn't actually that bad. This isn't. This is watchable. The sequel Wonder Woman 1984 was terrible, but whatever. It's another day, another story. But so it's almost like the beauty of this was whereas I was able to actually watch this for the first time in a long time, a DC movie with almost like an open mind. Because it's like, because the fact it's DC already has me thinking this is going to be trash, but it's written and directed, I believe, written and directed by James Gunn. I think he did both of those roles, right?
Yes, he does. He usually does. So
it's kind of okay. James Gunn has done a lot of cool shit with Marvel. So it's almost like it neutralized. If that makes sense. So it's like, okay, I can. It's probably going to be shit because it's DC, but it's James Gunn, so it's probably going to be good. I could just go into this and enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, we can break it down, but I thought it was a thoroughly enjoyable superhero movie.
It was fine. It's good to see DC not reacting and just letting a movie play out and letting a filmmaker just make his fucking film. A lot of problems with Academy Award winning Suicide Squad was that it was just studio interference from the get-go. James so-and-so made one movie and then DC Warner Brothers decided to give it to someone else's editing and they made an entirely different movie, which apparently you're the only person that says they liked it, which is that's fantastic.
Okay, well, I want to say I like it. I'm not going to watch it again anytime soon. but I didn't hate it. Like most DC movies, I can't even finish them. Like Batman versus Superman, garbage. Never saw the end of that movie. Terrible.
Batman versus Superman. I had my most negative, visceral reaction to a movie I've ever had, and hope to never break.
I mean,
yeah,
okay,
it was one of those things where you had to
really quickly get into that fucking, because that was the one at the end where, like, right. So the whole fucking movie is built up to be Batman versus Superman. Batman fucking hates Superman because he feels that he fucking crushed government, he killed innocent people. So Batman's like, fuck Superman, I'm gonna fucking kill him. And so, long story short, he gets that fucking kryptonite thing, the spear, and he has Superman. He's about to fucking kill the motherfucker, and he's like, I'm about to kill you.
Martha.
And Martha goes,
Save Martha.
What? Your mum's Martha's too? What? Oh, and then next scene,
I'm a
friend of Superman. Oh, you're friends now? Fuck you. Oh, terrible.
I'm gonna uphold the light that he tried to hold. I'm gonna carry on his name. It's like, motherfucker, you literally tried to kill this man not an hour ago. Yeah. When
there was a Deadpool reference. I can't remember if it was in one of the movies where someone says to him like, "Oh, I have to tell you something," and he's like, "Your mum's mother's too." It's like, very funny.
I do know that when they finally had the funeral for Superman, and that dirt starts rising from the casket, and then they cut to directed by Zack Snyder. Both my arms involuntarily went up and began to flip off the screen, which does nothing to nobody. But then I yelled out as loud as I can, "Fuck you." And I have never been more embarrassed about a thing in my life as I am that, because at the end of the day, this is just a movie. But as far as the DC movies, and we're talking Man of Steel going forward, the majority of them have just been garbage, to the point like when we got to Suicide Squad, Academy Award winning Suicide Squad, I didn't care. I wasn't going to waste my money. I wasn't going to waste my time on a property that I went, well, I'm probably just going to hate it anyways. And guess what? I hated it. I avoided Aquaman altogether. $1 billion Aquaman. I still have no desire to see it. Apparently the world loved it. I don't care.
It was okay.
Shazam is finally a step in the right direction. Shazam was a very good film. At least it was a good film. Joker, you'd have to suffer just severe head trauma not to recognize that was a good film. I didn't want to like it. Great movie. Or again, at least a good movie. And then finally, like I skipped out Birds of Prey. I was just like, again, I don't care about this shit. I don't like Harley Quinn. I don't want anything Suicide Squad related.
Okay, I could go on a rant about that as well, because Harley Quinn's one of my favorite characters in the DC universe. Because I think it's an interesting character in the fact that because Joker is obviously cool as fuck in his origin. Forget what some adaptations of him has been in the script. The Joker is one of the greatest villains in comic books. Sure. So I thought it was very interesting character in that she was supposed to be his psychologist, and then he kind of bamboozled her and brainwashed her to where she falls in love with him, and she helps him escape, and blah, blah, blah. She does anything for him. Blah, 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 blah,
well, that's all stuff that they've retconned since. She was originally a character created for the Batman animated series, and her role was just a sidekick that was in love with the Joker, who would severely domestically beat her randomly throughout the episode. And her character really wasn't anything more than that.
There was a good actual, because obviously after there's a comic book series called I can't remember.
That's okay. You can't confuse the comics with the TV series with the cartoon with the movie.
Oh, obviously, cartoon.
They're all different things.
But yeah, it had a very good backstory too. But anyway, I just thought the backstory was really cool, and I was like super hyped. And I don't know if I've told you this story before. So do you remember The Dark Knight was one of the best movies ever, let alone best DC movies. Dark Knight.
That's the Heath Ledger Joker.
The Heath Ledger Joker. One of the great.
It's overrated, but okay.
I'm not even going to argue with that. But you can appreciate within the scope of DC that is one of the greatest movies they've ever done.
We're not counting it in this conversation, though. We're going Man of Steel forward.
Understood. But I'm just telling you just my story about the Harlequin thing. So
Okay.
that is like one of the greatest, if not the greatest DC. You can definitely argue some of the early Batman with like Michael Keaton and
they're fine. They're of their time.
Anyway, this is going off in the same. But anyway, my point is obviously originally the whole point of that storyline where Batman keeps the Joker alive and they're doing a whole I got a feeling me and you are going to have a long relationship, like that, basically alluding to the fact that Batman and Joker are going to have this lifelong feud. Obviously, the whole point was for the third movie to have Joker involved. And then, obviously, unfortunately, Heath Ledger passed away. And so I was kind of... And then, I can't remember... What is his name? Nolan?
Christopher
Nolan. He said that obviously now he has to cast a new villain, but also he wanted to keep it realistic. He didn't want it to be too wacky and crazy. He wanted to keep it very... So I was like, oh, this is it. This is finally it. We're going to get fucking Harlequin. Like the way they can do it is that maybe the Joker is locked up in Arkham Asylum and she's out to get revenge and all that we can go really fucking dark and deep. And this is going to be... I was so hyped to see how after what they did with Joker in the Dark Knight, how they're going to do Harlequin. This is going to be amazing. And then they fucking went with Bane. Oh, that realistic character, that everyday Joe, Bane, pissed me right off. And then when I finally found out that Harlequin's finally coming into a movie, and the first time they ever feature Harlequin is fucking Suicide Squad. So the whole premise is she's been a bad person. They put her in prison, and now she's trying to redeem herself. You haven't even told her origin story yet. Fuck's sake, DC. How can you keep fucking up?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I understand that they tried to shoehorn in an origin story for her. I don't even know if it made the final cut, but
anyway,
yeah, I mean,
Suicide Squad.
I have a problem with Harley Quinn being a feminist icon. That's just me, though. But
it's
again,
a terrible feminist icon.
It's been 25 years since the character was just created for this little cartoon show that was on Fox Kids Saturday weekdays after school.
I mean, she's strong in that she can handle herself, but as a feminist, she's terrible because she's devoted to one man. She does anything for one man, and she's obsessed with one man. That's not a feminist icon.
Women be crazy, Mike. Anyway, none of them are listening to this show, so it's okay. We can say that women be crazy,
and we have the demographics to say, which is all men. It's a men's club,
boys club,
club.
The Suicide Squad, James Gunn. You know what? Again, because of everything that we just talked about, I really had no desire to go see this movie. I definitely wasn't going to go see it in the theater. Thankfully, they made it available for free with your HBO Max subscription. And having said that, like I just said, I really enjoyed it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but we're just going to get into spoilers here. I love that the first 9 minutes, Pete Davidson's face gets shot off. Just to go back on that, I don't get exposed to much Pete Davidson. I know he's on Saturday Night Live. I don't watch it. I don't know why the satisfaction of having his face violently ripped from his skull came over me. I feel like it's unnecessary, it's unwarranted, it's undeserved, but it still exists. Like he steps on me, he's like, "Hey guys, it's me, Pete Davidson. Woo woo woo," and then just face ripped off. And
literally.
And I paused it. I tried to get a screen capture of it, and I was like, "Fuck! It's 4 PM here in San Francisco. Like, I can't. All I'm getting is fucking glare on the screen." So
I have a theory about that. I think if my theory is true, I think it's brilliant because obviously, I mean, I was about to say I'm a big fan of Pete Davidson. I'm a big fan of. I appreciate Pete Davidson. I think he's funny for what he does, but obviously,
did you see his movie last summer? King of Staten
He's in a lot of Pete Davidson stars as Pete Davidson in this movie. Yeah, he's.
Well, this was like his vehicle.
It's basically his story.
This was supposed to be like his 8 Mile.
I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it.
Okay, it was a Judd Apatow movie.
Bill Burr's in it, which is always good.
Bill Burr was great in it.
Bill Burr's great. But I think there is definitely people who, like yourself, for whatever reason, are aggravated by Pete Davidson. And I think this was very much done in the whole, hey, Pete, we're going to have you in the opening part of this movie. Be as Pete Davidson as you can fucking be. Go hype over it so that when you get killed off, people are going to fucking love it. I bet that was a self-aware moment. I'm adamant about it because he was.
Well, obviously,
really
he's reading the script.
amping
He's
it up.
like, and then Blackwing's face gets shot off. Like he's reading that on the page. So yeah, he knows it. He knows it's a thing that's happening. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I love the opening scene. The opening, well, I guess not quite the opening scene, but I love the fact that, by the looks of it, the Suicide Squad that you're seeing, pretty much, other than the Harlequin, obviously, get destroyed. They get murdered so badly because they are the Suicide Squad.
Precedent.
That it's brilliant. Like it's genius. And before we get more into the movie, I will just want to, why I have this thought in my head. DC, whoever's in charge of the DC movies, needs to follow this blueprint. And when I say this blueprint, what I mean is that the history is there. I mean, you can say that the Nolan trilogy is overrated. Again, I'm not going to argue with that, but you can at least admit they are good movies. They are good movies. They might not be as great as everyone says they are, but they're good movies. And that was because Chris Nolan, these 3 movies are my babies. I'm creating this. And so they were very successful. And then more recently, the Justice League was a whole bunch of hot garbage until, because DC got involved too much and blah, 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 blah. And then eventually they was like, okay, Zach, do the movie you wanted to. And it wasn't great, but it was way better. The Zack Snyder cut was way better than the fucking original thing we got.
It'll always have that weird asterisk of it's better than the theatrical one, but that doesn't mean it's just good in general.
No, but that's like I said, they've got it, so they'll take it. And then this Suicide Squad, where again they're like, well, the first Suicide Squad wasn't that great. We even had Will Smith in it, and he still was a bit shit. And so they've gone, hey, you've done amazing with Marvel, James Gunn. Can you help us out? Do us a solid. And he's
so you know how that all came about, right?
Wasn't it after he got fired from the Guardians of the Galaxy? They was like, we'll take you.
That's short of the long. Yes, that's exactly what happened. So, and what's funny is when I mentioned earlier is that this is maybe the only non-reactionary thing that DC has done in a long time, with the exception of they hired the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy to make their movie. And actually, I've heard they're like, we'll let you do a Superman movie. You can do anything you want. And he's like, I want to do Suicide Squad. Even if that's 100% true, the reaction was Disney fired a director that they tried to make Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad like, and then they just went, okay, now we're going to get the director for that to do it, and now it's going to be a much better movie. And actually, I mean, to be fair, it's a much better movie.
It's much better than the original one.
It's a much better movie. It's long though. I don't feel a length of the time, but it's it's still over 2 hours.
I didn't feel the length that much. I thought, for a recent comic book movie we watched, I think Black Widow, I think that was actually a shorter movie, but for me it felt longer than this.
I saw Snake Eyes over the weekend, and that was like 1:45, I want to say, and that felt longer than Suicide Squad, despite how pretty it looked. But
yeah, I'm not in a rush to watch G.I. Joe. Origins.
I like all the actors in this movie. I like John Cena. I like Idris Elba.
In his role. Elba. I mean, why would I be shocked? But I like the fact that his
when is he bad in anything, right?
Exactly. Even that one with the Concrete Cowboys or whatever it's called. That was on Netflix. He was very good.
I saw that shit. Yeah,
but yeah, I love the fact that Harley Quinn obviously was a big part of it, but this was very much the Idris Elba show. Like, he was the main character in this movie.
He definitely was the glue that held it together, and he was the character that you were still interested in following. I would say Harley Quinn is still a big part of it, but she's used properly and in a proper amount of doses. Like she is not in the thing the entire time, and I think that's a great thing. I like Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man is not only an interesting actor, but an interesting character altogether. I even like his look. I like when his face swells up and you can actually see the polka dots glowing through his skin at night. It's yeah.
What was he in?
I thought that was an interesting effect.
What else is he? I recognize, but I can see his face in something else. But
yeah.
Shit.
He's
back on my phone again.
A new booty. I'll say he's a new booty. And then didn't they had one of the Doctor Who's? He played that guy with the brains. I'm just gonna say yes. And then the villain at the end of the movie, Starro the Conqueror, like that thing just shouldn't work whatsoever. Like that should not work at all. And the people wandering around with this giant starfish with a giant eyeball on it, that should not work at all. And yet it does. And I don't know what it is that James Gunn knows that other directors and writers don't know, but he made a ridiculous thing as an intergalactic starfish not only work, not only be threatening, not only be terrifying, but also be sympathetic at the same time. Because Starro at the end of the day is just he's a victim in all this shit, and he just finally got loose from his prison. He didn't want to come to Earth. He was just floating around, and some astronauts snagged him, and that's how that went down.
It was like when they put dogs down for biting people. The dog was just being a dog. It's a fucking owner.
The dog was just being no. They still had to put down Star unless they could figure out how to go into space, and they're the Suicide Squad, not the astronaut squad. So that's a whole other department.
But Polka Dot was played by David Dasmalchian.
Sure.
Yeah, and he's actually, I don't know which one I'm picturing, but he's actually been in a lot. Like he's been in The Dark Knight. He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
So in Ant-Man and the Wasp, or the Ant-Man movies, he's the Russian guy. There's T.I., there's Luis Pena, and then there's the Russian guy. That's him.
Also, according to his Wikipedia page, I don't know if I'm going to say this name, maybe you know it, maybe if you don't, shout out if you do. He made a cameo in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. I couldn't tell you who he was. I saw it once.
He made a cameo, so I'm assuming
support the artist. Hello.
But Angry Video Game Nerd. Shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out.
Shout out to James.
Rolf.
James Rolfe.
That was some good
shit.
OG.
Yeah, so my favorite scene in Suicide Squad is when Idris Elba and John Cena are murdering the entire village, and then finally John Cena does something. Idris Elba does something, and John Cena improves on it, and Idris Elba goes, "You're a fucking show off," and he's like, "It's only what's the line, dude?" He's like, "It's all something about being it's dope as fuck," and then Idris Elba goes, "Fuck, that's right, yeah, that math adds up."
But then they
totally just did a disservice.
They find the person they're looking for, and then they realize they've just slaughtered a bunch of good guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part's funny too. This one little thread of dialogue, the timing is perfect.
I can't remember the exact, but yeah, it's not showing off if it's dope as fuck or something like that. And yeah, I was like, god damn it.
It's not. It's a great scene. There's.
I love the fact, they
a
had
lot of fantastic camera work as well.
Sorry, but I love the fact that they had two characters who basically have the same superpower, mm-hmm. And so he
does exactly what I do.
They didn't hide it. They just So I'm gonna try to be better than him, and it was very well done. Mm-hmm. And I still have to. So why don't you eat a beach load of dicks?
A bag of dicks.
If I had to eat a bag of dicks for freedom, I would.
In the name of liberty, I would eat every bag.
Why would anyone put a bunch of dicks on a beach?
I don't know. There's a lot of great camera work in this. James Gunn knows how to give good direction, man. That scene at the beginning where the diversion Suicide Squad is getting murdered, like he's just run. I don't know if they did it with a jib shot or just a hand cam, but where they're literally just running with the camera over the bodies, and it is smooth, it is clean, it's what you look for in good camera work. There's an entire fight scene between Peacemaker and Randall Flagg, Sergeant Flagg, Commander Flagg, where it just takes place in the reflection of the Peacemaker's chrome helmet. It's very clear, you can tell what's going on, it looks good, it's a fantastic rotation. I'm sorry I'm getting into nerdy stuff like that. That's stuff I walked away from with this movie. Like that's the stuff I appreciate. It's a shame that it didn't make any money, but again, pandemic and offering it for free on your streaming platform and it being rated R and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is just going to hurt your box office.
Sure, John and I just got paid though.
I'm sure they got paid. And then John Cena's has an 8-episode TV series featuring Peacemaker coming out.
And isn't
like
James Gunn
months.
doing that as well?
Wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
Wrote and directed it.
I'll be watching that. That'd be interesting. Because that's going to be on HBO too, right?
That is also an HBO Max product. Yes.
I shall be watching that, my friend.
Yeah, and you know what? Statistically, it's probably going to be really good. Right. Well, I don't know if you're done talking about this, but again, I have no desire to see it again. But a good movie is a good movie, and 4 out of 5.
Yeah, no, I've said what I wanted to say about this movie, but I think this is another example of where whoever's in charge of greenlighting DC movies needs to chill the fuck out, stop being so controlling, and just get good people to make good movies. Stop fucking with them too much. Stop rebooting everything. Like at this point, for example, the Flash movie that's coming out soon, or I think they're actually just filming it still, so it's not anytime soon.
They're almost done filming
with Michael Keaton playing Bruce Wayne, like an older Bruce Wayne who's kind of like mentoring the Flash or whatever like that. I mean, depending on how it comes out, maybe I'll watch it. I'm not spending money, but it's like it has got to the point where no matter what or who is involved, it's like if DC comes out with something, I'm like, it's probably gonna be shit. Like I've just lost faith so much in them. The only reason I was hyped to watch this movie was because it was James Gunn, and I was like, oh, hey, maybe this. Okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he's put out some great movies. But DC,
have you seen Romeo and Juliet?
I have not.
I think it's the only movie of his I haven't seen. Are you familiar with Troma at all? It's a studio out actually in New Jersey.
Is it in Jersey?
It's out in New Jersey. They're responsible for the Toxic Avenger and that series. They're responsible. They did like Kabuki Cop. They did Poultrygeist. They actually have like a huge catalog of movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know. Toxic Avenger. Yeah.
Well, so out of they have like 40, 50, maybe even 100 movies under their belt. But people always talk about 2 movies specifically. They always talk about the Toxic Avenger from like 1985, and then they talk about James.
Like mop was his like weapon or some crazy shit like that.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. We can talk about the Toxic Avenger later, but the other movie they talk about is James Gunn's directorial debut, Romeo and Juliet, and I never seen it because of movies like Kabuki Cop and Poultrygeist and other stupid shit that they've produced. But they have their audience. They're based out in New Jersey where you are, and that is James Gunn's roots, is the Troma team.
I thought it was gonna be fake New Jersey, like The Wedding Singer.
Tromaville is a fictitious town in New Jersey.
Because The Wedding Singer, I mean, I'm not going to give away my exact location, All the weirdos out there. But I live in Ridgeville, New Jersey, to which is the town. If you watch The Wedding Singer, that Wedding Singer is based in Ridgeville, New Jersey. And as I was looking around, that is not Ridgeville, motherfucker. And obviously, it's filmed in Los Angeles. But I don't understand. I don't get it. Why they said
Toronto?
No, I think it was LA. But like, why, out of all the places, why they said this film is based in Ridgeville, New Jersey? If to anyone, I mean, I guess not many people have been to Ridgeville, New Jersey, unless you live in Ridgeville, New Jersey. But it's like, this is not Ridgeville, New Jersey.
Well,
I wish that was Ridgeville, New Jersey, but it's not.
Adam Sandler has deep roots out there in the New York, New Jersey tri-state area. So yeah, I'm sure there's a huge reason why The Wedding Singer is based in that specific town.
Back to my phone, isn't he? I want to say he's.
I know he went to NYU, and then obviously Saturday Night Live connection, and all that jazz.
He was born in New York, apparently. He was born in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
But he grew up in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Okay.
So, I have no idea, but whatever. Good for him. Good for him doing his thing.
Good for you, Sandler.
I think we crushed that one. Shall we wrap that up?
Good. I feel good about that, yeah.
I feel that we vented. We exercised the demons on another Waffle Box podcast. If you are listening to this in time, make sure, of course, to tune in live Thursday, the 12th of August, twitch.tv/WaffleBoxPod. Again, myself and Rick Barrasso from the Greatest Movie of All Time podcast, live on Waffle Box Late Night Syrup. Check that out. If you miss it, it'll be on demand, so you can go back and watch it anyway. So, but it's fun times. And then, of course, check out all of the. It'd just be easier. Just go to bossnet.family. Check out all the podcasts that Kush Hayes is on, and of course, if you miss any of our show, the Waffle Box, all the archives are on bossnet.family as well as waffleboxpod.com.
If you're having trouble finding the Waffle Box YouTube channel, go to Bosnet.
Just go to bossnet.family.
Bosnet, where your family. That's where family is. Like Vin Diesel, we're family.
Family.
We actually have some great guests coming up on the microdose just to transition into that. So we got Justin Powell, who's actually a part of the Iron Dragon Action Fest this year. He made a movie called Falling Sparrow, and I'll be talking to him about that this Friday. The very next Friday, we're actually hooking up with a couple boys from the UK, Mike. They do a podcast on the 1980s TV series Cheers called Where Nobody Knows Your Name, and they'll be making their return guest. We're going to be talking about what they experienced with season 5 and what they can expect from season 6, again, of the TV series Cheers. And then finally, the last week of August, we're going to be talking to Bart Rowenwurst. I've totally botched his last name there, but he's the founder of the Redhead Days Festival, which will be going on that weekend in the town of Tilburg, Netherlands, Holland. I don't know, probably butchered that too. But microdose, bosnet.family/microdose.
Before we sign off, I've popped in my way now. We're talking about Vin Diesel. Did I ever tell you, again, good friend Alex Middleton, co-host of Clarence Big Blue podcast that I do every Tuesday, and also host of Pasta Gravy. Did I ever tell you his suggestion for the name of the 10th movie in the Fast and Furious franchise?
No, please do.
So obviously, you have Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, blah, 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 and it's got Fate and the Furious, F8, and then F9. His suggestion was fasten your seatbelt.
I've seen that on YouTube or on the Facebook. Yeah, it's funny.
It's genius.
It's funny. Fasten your seatbelt. Yeah, why not?
and then that's be at the end of it, like where he's.
I think they're gonna
suddenly.
I think they're gonna take it the super duper Hollywood generic way and just go FX. FX.
Fast and Furious on Mars.
I'm still mad we didn't get a drag race on the moon. That's what I was promised. That's what I expected when I heard we're going to space.
I think the best one would be like they find a time machine, and I want to see like a chariot race between Vin Diesel and Caesar from Rome.
Motherfucker.
That would be so.
Hell
good.
yes.
That
would be so great.
And then like,
he's getting ready to hit the nos, but then whoever's in the chariot has got their little booster thing, or they hit the horse in the ass with like a booster shot or whatever, and that's what makes the horse go even faster. Yeah. I like where you're going with that, Mike Fish.
And then Caesar, right at the end, to tug at your heartstrings, Caesar's like, and then Vin Diesel's like, family. And he's like, no, Vin Diesel. And everyone gets along, and then they go back to modern times.
You got yourself a go picture, kid. Here's $1 million. Here's $100 million. Here's 5 Bitcoin. Make a movie.
What's that? It's like it's 125 grand.
That's about right. Yeah, 150K.
Vin's salary.
It's not going to pay for his trailer.
And that's wrong. So yeah, check us out at Wafflebox Pod on all your social media platforms. I am it's not there right now, but we'll edit in at Mr. Mike Fish at
Kush_Hayes.
Yep. And my dog's gone. Where is my dog? I don't know where my dog is. I have to find my dog. Yeah, make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, give us a like and all that good stuff. You are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Radio, wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you hit the follow and make sure you tell your friends, your family, and your pets to listen to the show. But until next week, take care of each other. No, fuck. I always fuck this up every week. Until next week, take care of yourselves and each other.